Okay.
Yeah, I will continue. We have some trouble. Okay. Jadi mungkin
misalnya di dalam generation gap saat ini, masalah yang paling sulit sekali itu adalah masalah komunikasi. Dari Profesor John Gersman sendiri sebenarnya tidak menyarankan jika kita menggunakan media sosial sebagai alat satu-satunya atau alat utama dalam berkomunikasi. Karena jika dalam media sosial itu
kita berbicara, tidak ada pendalaman pertimbangan yang baik gitu, sehingga lebih mudah untuk menciptakan kesalahpahaman. Jadi
baik gitu, sehingga lebih jadi jika memang kita harus berbicara, lebih baik dalam forum face to face gitu. Media sosial it's okay, tapi itu hanya untuk men-share hal-hal yang mungkin yang tidak perlu ada pendalaman. Di sini sebenarnya kita juga bisa melihat sih banyaknya salah paham ya, atau dalam konteks itu ada tweet war gitu, atau dalam Instagram itu ada comment war gitu. Jadi itu sebenarnya terjadi karena kesalahpahaman, karena memang media sosial ini tidak menyediakan fasilitas untuk kita berbicara dingin, face to face, dan lebih mendalam gitu. Jadi untuk generation mungkin kita bisa berkomunikasi tidak hanya sosial media itu saja. Oke.
Halo, selamat malam Ibu Risa. Mohon maaf.
Aryani ya.
My connection was blacking out. Iya, koneksi saya barusan terputus, tidak tahu kenapa.
Yes, I've already explained about the last questions and answers. Now we move to the next questions.
Halo.
Okay, we now move to the next questions.
Was there another question?
Yes. Okay. Let me continue. The question is from Rizky. Is political party still very important? What about independent people that enter the parliament? Do you think political party is the only way to enter the parliament? Because maybe young generation still need channel to convey their opinion and become a part of government. What do you say, sir?
What do you say, sir?
So, I mean, I think at the moment, of course, it seems like political parties are the only way to enter parliament, but there's lots of other ways to influence policymaking besides being in parliament, both at the local and at the national level. And so, so that's not, I think it would be good for young people to be involved in electoral politics and joining that, but there's other ways to influence policies besides simply joining a political party and joining in parliament. There can be other mechanisms to influence policy as well.
Oke. Jadi kalau misalnya kita tanya apakah kita harus menjadi anggota partai politik nih
masuk ke parlemen dan bagian dari pemerintah, menurut Profesor nggak hanya itu jalannya. Kita bisa berpartisipasi aktif di lain selain menjadi anggota parlemen atau bekerja di dalam pemerintahan, seperti menggunakan media sosial, mengikuti pelaksanaan dan pengawasan kebijakan publik. Okay. Thank you. Last question, Professor. This is
Hi.
about the U.S. government.
So there's
Is young generation is really take part in U.S. government? Please give an example.
So in the United States, I would say there's three broad ways that young people participate. And so there's people who are old enough to vote, and they vote in elections. And in the last couple of elections have been, even though young people vote at lower rates than older people, they have been voting at much higher rates than younger people did previously. So this was true both in the 2020 and we are hoping in the 2022 elections. So voting is definitely one of those. The United States is an unusual political system as a federal system, and so most of the opportunities for the youth to participate are at the local level, so at the city and the state level of government. And so it really depends on the cities or states if they have mechanisms or vehicles for young people to participate. So a number of cities have something called participatory budgeting. In some cases, it's specifically only for the youth, and the youth are able to come together and are given control over part of budgetary resources and are able to decide how a city is going to spend the resources that are supposed to be spent on the youth. In New York City, for example, there is a participatory budgeting process that's open to everyone, and it's open to people who are 16 and above to vote, and people can be involved in certain policies around, excuse me, making decisions about budgets. Usually the total amount of money that people can make decisions about is about $1 million, which can be used for local projects and so forth. And then, of course, the last way that students are involved or young people are involved is attending city council meetings, protesting. You know, even if they're not old enough to vote, they are old enough to protest. They're old enough to have meetings with legislators and tell them what they think they should do. Some school districts have specifically representation of students in them. So there's certainly a lot more that the US could do for youth. And certainly our elected representatives. But there are ranges of opportunities, but it varies very much by city and state.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor John Kurzman. So, yeah, I would say like the unusual political system in the States as an understatement. It's because it's really hard. I've been trying to learn the political system in the States for a year now, and I'm like still getting confused by a lot of the things that are involved in there. Untuk teman-teman dari Indonesia, jadi di Amerika Serikat sendiri itu sistem politik itu tidak sangat unik karena dia ada sistem bipartisan dan kemudian itu tergantung dari masing-masing kota dan states-nya. Karena kan Amerika menganut sistem federal, sehingga masing-masing kota maupun states itu bisa membuat aturannya sendiri. Tapi pada dasarnya pada setiap pertemuan budgetary di Amerika itu tidak